So good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here as we gather for this deeply meaningful occasion, the rededication of the Fort Washington Fire Company Volunteer Firefighters Memorial. This memorial stands as a testament to the courage, commitment, and selflessness of those who answered the call, not for recognition, not for reward, but out of a sense of duty and love for their community. Volunteer firefighters, as we know, are a rare breed. They don't do what they do because they have to. They do it because they choose to. They are our neighbors, our friends, and our family. People who, when the alarm sounds, leave behind the comfort of their homes, their jobs, and even their loved ones to rush toward dangers so that others may be safe. The names etched on this memorial are not just names, they are stories. Stories of bravery, stories of sacrifice, stories of lives dedicated to service, and sometimes even stories that can't be told outside of the walls of these firehouses. Today, as we rededicate this sacred place, we renew our promise to never forget them. We reaffirm that their sacrifices will not fade into the past. This memorial will continue to stand as a place of reflection, remembrance, and gratitude for their generation, our generation, and for those generations still to come. The names on this wall represent the very best of the fire company, our members. They helped build and shape the fire company into what it is today. It is our legacy to protect and our responsibility to pass on to the next generation through our ongoing dedication to our mission and vision. To the firefighters here today, active, non-active, retired, or otherwise, thank you. This memorial is a reminder of your legacy, your courage, and the bond that connects all of us to have worn the gear and carried the weight of answering calls for help. Let this rededication not only restore a monument, let it also rekindle our pride and commitment to support those who serve and to live with the same selfless spirit that this memorial represents. May this ground remain hallowed. May the names be remembered. And may we always be worthy of the sacrifices made on our behalf. So now, I'd like to share some facts and figures about the memorial and how we got to where we are today. The original dedication for the original memorial was held on September 10th, 1994. The original committee was chaired by member Bob O'Cotney, and also committee members were Marlon Miller, George Heger, Bill Gauk, Art Heger, Bill Braun, Bill Nuss, John Riley, and Mike Duffy. And I believe both John and Bill Gauk are here with us tonight, so thank you to you both. The Reverend Howard Bailey, who's also a member, and Chuck Bailey's father, gave the original invocation. Approximately $60,000 was raised to fund the memorial. The Fort Washington Fire Company Fire Mark was created for this purpose, and we still sell them to this day. This might look familiar to a lot of you. I know I have one hanging. I'm sure I've seen a couple of them in the house, but that was where this fire mark came from, was to help fund the memorial. In addition to selling fire marks, we did advertising, and also donor levels were sold for a program book. And what's that? I don't know. Raffles. Thanks, Ed. It's in here, I promise. We also held raffles, and we received generous donations from community members and local businesses. The granite and the bronze statue alone cost approximately $30,000. The remaining funds, once the project was complete, were put into a separate non-operating account for the perpetual upkeep of the memorial. The black granite used was imported from Thailand by Guest & Williams Incorporated. The bronze statue that sits atop was made by Bush Pattern Works out of Reading, Pennsylvania. The artist's name who created the statue was Angelo Di Maria, and his signature can be seen inscribed at its base. The firefighter in the statue, in case any of you thought he looked familiar, was actually made with Bill Gauck's image. So, and the baby, there he is. The baby that the firefighter is holding was an image of the artist's granddaughter. And the lantern that the firefighter is holding was one of the original lanterns used by the fire company. The original site survey for the memorial was conducted by Charles Schumacher Incorporated and Corinthian Organization, which was member John and Rob Riley's father's firm, did the architectural design and rendering for the memorial. Construction work to prepare the site was done by fire company members led by Jim Sharkey and Mike Duffy. Ambler Coal donated the steel reinforcement rods, and Allied Concrete donated the concrete for the footers. The stone pavers were purchased at Landis Block and Concrete in Souderton, and the Christopher Brother Memorials out of Philadelphia installed all of the granite pieces to where they are today. Also, as we heard, some of us heard at the monthly meeting last month, there was a time capsule installed by the committee and the committee chair with pictures and other things, and it was placed inside the hollow centerpiece in the memorial right underneath where the bronze statue is. So one day, a long, long time down the road, when somebody opens it up, there'll be some interesting stuff there. We don't know exactly what's in there yet, but we're working on that. In 2021, the old gong from the Summit Avenue station was restored and hung by Anderson Welding and installed next to the memorial. In 2022, a single-masted nautical flagpole was installed during Work Sunday to display the American flag, a POW flag, and the Fort Washington Fire Company flag. In 2023, additional pavers were installed to tie in the gong and the flagpole to the memorial. In addition, lighting upgrades and rewiring were done by member Lee Champlin. The Memorial Committee also had 5 new wreaths made, one for each season, as well as an additional wreath to display during Christmas. The wreaths were designed and created by Halo and Honey Wreath Company of Glenside, and you can see the wreaths that were purchased right here. In 2025, Matt Lesniak welded and painted a new wreath stand for the front of the memorial to display these new wreaths. And in addition, a granite monument was designed and purchased from De Christopher Brothers Memorials once again, this time out of Rockledge, and installed underneath the gong. Lastly, the landscaping around the memorial was redesigned and installed under the direction of member Pete Williams. At this time, I wanted to take a moment to thank all those who helped clean up and prepare for this event this evening. So thanks for those of you who came out yesterday, Jerry Smith Sr., Rick Echeverria, Mike and Jordan Bodo, Bob Shawley, Fred Herring, and Matt Lesniak. Also a thank you to Jeff Ollis and the Kitchen Committee for making the arrangements for this evening's catered meal. And lastly, and probably most importantly, I wanted to convey a very special thanks to the Memorial Committee, who spent many years planning and preparing the upgrades to our memorial. Couldn't have been done really without the entire committee, but hats off to Ed, who's standing here next to me, who really took this project to heart and saw it through. So Ed, thank you very much for your dedication for the memorial, getting this done. Also want to thank his committee, because it doesn't happen alone. Members Stu Pennypacker, Lee Champlin, John Riley, Pete Williams, and Rich Myers. So for the last portion of our ceremony, briefly what we'd ask at this time, I'd like everyone to gather around the front of the memorial. And we will perform a ceremonial wreath laying and a blessing from Father James McGuinn of St. Anthony of Padua Parish in Ambler.
Like Ernie said, my name is Father Jim McGuinn, and I'm the pastor of St. Anthony Parish and St. Joseph Parish in Ambler. So it's a real kind of honor to be here with you. My sister Rosemary is married to Michael McCann, and Michael is from Cheltenham. And his father was a volunteer fireman. He's a volunteer fireman. His 2 brothers are volunteer firemen. His uncles are volunteer firemen, and his cousins are volunteer firemen. Okay. A friend of mine, Carrie, lives in the parish at St. Anthony, and her brother Brian Casey died about 2 months ago. And Brian was a volunteer fireman in Glenside. And I met the Gepperts and a whole lot of just great people who are volunteer firemen. And so I was invited tonight to do a little prayer and have a dedication for this monument. And it just got me thinking a little bit about volunteer firemen and volunteer firewomen. You know, there's lots of great professions that people embrace throughout their lives, where they give back to society and to the community. You know, I think of teachers and coaches, some clergy people as well, parents for sure. You're building into the next generation. Police and firemen who are involved with public safety really are kind of heroic. They have a special role to play in providing the security and the protection that our society needs. But really, even above that level are volunteer firefighters. Because unlike a lot of other professions, you're not paid. And that's pretty heroic, you know? And like Ernie said, you put the needs of other people before your own. And you'll risk, you know, your lives to save people. And you'll rush into flames to rescue those who might otherwise, you know, lose their lives. And I've been thinking about this, and all of a sudden I think, I work for a person like that, you know, in a sense. And so I've been thinking about developing this homily series called Jesus, the Ultimate Fireman, or the Ultimate Volunteer Fireman, who came down to earth to save us and got nothing out of it, and saved a lot of lives and made the lives of people much better. And really, that's what all of you do for our local community. You make the lives of the citizens living in Fort Washington better, and it's a safer place to live. So as a representative clergy person here, I just want to thank you for doing that. One of our responsibilities is to honor the people who have come before us. You know, so we're going to do that now. I just ask you to take a moment to remind yourselves that you're in a sacred place and in the presence of God, and then we'll pray for our brothers and sisters who have volunteered in the years past. Almighty God, you are a great and an awesome God, and in your goodness you created all of creation. And after creating all things, you protect and defend what you have created, especially the children that you claim your own. You have invited men and women throughout the ages to work with you, to keep safe those you have created and to protect them. And so we honor some of those volunteers this night. We ask you to bless them if they are living, keep them safe, let them know that we appreciate all they did. We ask you to bless their family and friends and send more volunteers into the future to continue their great work. We just ask you to bless them this day that we remember them, and tomorrow and forever and ever. Amen.